Hi, Jacob.
Hi.
Welcome to class. So you see on the board that you need to get started with your do now. So you need to log into the Nearpod, okay?
Okay.
Do you know how to type in the code?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to put LJZA6, okay? Go ahead and share my screen. All right, did you join?
Yes.
Do you see the first slide with the picture?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to get started, okay?
Good.
So you're going to go ahead and answer the first question. So today we're going to go over like paraphrasing ideas and pictures and stuff, and we're going to talk about that. So the first question is, how comfortable are you with paraphrasing ideas or pictures and restating it? And you're going to pick one of the two answers and submit it.
Good.
Let me know when you're done and we'll move on, okay?
Good.
Do you know what you're reading?
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. Let me see your screen. Oh. It should pull up. Uh-oh. Is there a next button for you?
No. Okay, now it's there. Nope.
The poll is there. Let me see it. Oh, no, not that. Go back. Let me see your computer real quick. Okay, I have to. Okay, here we go. Starting it. There you go. Sorry about that, Jacob. So how comfortable are you with paraphrasing ideas or pictures and restating it? You're going to pick one of the two answers. Are you comfortable or are you not comfortable? I can't tell you the answer, Jacob. That's your own personal preference. Have you ever done it before?
No.
You put B? Okay, well, guess what? I'm going to help you today. Good job, Jacob. Okay. So now the next one, you're going to write a sentence about the photo, just a simple sentence, and you're going to write in the box, okay? So look at the picture. I put a picture for you up there.
Does the sentence need to say?
What does it need to say? What does it look like? You just need to write a simple sentence about what you're looking at. So you're looking at some fruits and vegetables. So what can you write about that? Did you submit it?
Yes.
Okay. Is food heart? Okay, you're on the right track. You could that's you're getting there. You could have wrote it in a sense like the food is a heart.
Okay.
But you're right. It is a heart. The food is in a heart. So you did good. Good job, Jacob. All right. So now we're just going to think for a little bit, okay? So think of a time that you've paraphrased or came up with an idea in your own life. So like my own example is when I read books and someone asks me what they are about, I give them a simple sentence. So like when someone asks like, what's the Hunger Games about? And I'm sure that you've read it because it's a middle school book. It's about fighting. So think of a time that you paraphrase in your own life. Have you ever paraphrased with your family, with your friends? Like, have your family or friends ever asked you a question to like sum something up and like say a simple sentence about?
Yes.
Okay, you have. Do you want to give me an example?
When I was writing, I used shorter words.
Okay, yes. That's you're on the right track, but like in a sense, like how do you use that in your life? Like the sentence is shorter, but when do you use it?
To summarize.
Okay. You're on the right track. So now think of a time in other classes you use paraphrasing ideas. My example is like you probably use it in your history class, math class, or science class, or an elective. Do you use it in there? Like, have you ever been asked a question to like paraphrase anything in your history class? Like when you go over like the revolution or something about war, has your teacher ever asked you to summarize it?
Yes.
Exactly. So you have. So like you get a paragraph or something that you read and you summarize it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you have. That's what we're talking about today. The exact same thing, except we're talking about it in English class. Good job, Jacob. So today's lesson is going to be over like the TEAC describe personal connections using a variety of sources and self-selected text. So you'll see that in our activity. And then the objective for you is after discussing how we're going to use paraphrasing today and how to say an idea, you're going to correctly restate the idea before contributing your own idea. And then you're going to respond using the sentence stem, I heard blank, which in this case, you're going to be working with me. So you're going to say, I heard Miss Hallway state blank. So whatever I say, you're going to have to repeat it back to me. And then you can say your own idea. Okay. Okay. So today's lesson, like I've been talking about, we're going to do paraphrasing. So at the beginning, kind of how you said we're doing simple sentences, what is it? I put a little visual that you can look at. So paraphrase it, put the text into your own words. So like when you look at something, when you read something, when you write something, when you do that, you put it into your own words and it's going to be a simple sentence. You don't want to copy the text because that's plagiarism. And you remember plagiarism means copying. When we've done our writing lessons, you remember how we've talked about that? We don't want to copy anything because that's bad, right? Okay. And then you can rearrange similar text because if you rearrange it, it's not the same and you're just organizing it in your own words. So that's good also. And then ask yourself if you included all the important points. So like when we're talking about books and stuff, that's one of the more key components to look at it to make sure that you have everything. So that's what it is. Why is it important? So it's important because we're here to strengthen like your language and how you speak and talk and eventually write, because you're going to write these sentences later down the line in other lessons. But right now we're trying to strengthen how you speak to people. Do you understand?
Yes.
And then how do we use it? Kind of like I said. So when you use paraphrasing, you use it to summarize like a text, so like in a book, a story, something that someone says, a picture, basically all of that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So sentence stems, like I had explained a little bit in our objective today, we're going to use sentence stems to like repeat what is being said. So a sentence stem is basically like, I have an example, which we're going to use. So I'm going to show it to you. We have a little paper. We show the video camera and you're going to say, like, once we get into that, you're going to say, I heard blank state blank. And that's your sentence stem. So it's like a model almost for you to use. So you're going to use some of the words in here, but you're going to fill in the blanks with, remember, I heard, I'm going to be your partner today. So you're going to say, I heard Miss Hallway state, and whatever I state, you're going to repeat it back to me.
What is state?
State is not like the text, not Texas or Oklahoma or anything. State means like you're going to say it. Like I said something. So I stated an answer, which means I said an answer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Why is this important? So the reason that this is going to be important for you is because same thing, giving you the sentence stems helps you to model how to say things, write things down the line, because we saw like in the very beginning, you know, you didn't really exactly write a complete sentence, but you had the right idea. So having these sentence stems give you the full thing that needs to be said. Does that make sense, Jacob?
Okay.
Do you understand? Or are you confused about anything?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure, double checking in with you. So remember, the sentence stems are there as like a model for you, so you can say a complete sentence, because you don't want to do what you did in your beginning work, where it was like is a heart. Yes, it is a heart, but you could have said the fruit and vegetables are a heart, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. And then how do we use them? Kind of like I've already stated, it's just a model. It's just in place for you to use so that you can learn how to say things properly. And then it helps you down the line because we're working on strengthening your speaking right now. Okay.
Okay.
And then ideas. What are they? You've had many ideas before. What's an idea?
When you think of something.
Yes, exactly. So when you think of something, you have ideas all the time and you share them with the class, especially when you do partner work. You're more successful in partners, and I know you love to share your ideas. So that is.
Yes.
And then why are they important? Having an idea is how you come up with something. It helps you think, it gets your mind moving. You need to have ideas. Okay. And then how do we use them? Ideas help you start writing, ideas help you inference what you're about to read, what you're going to do. It's just the starting point, and you can make more ideas as you go along, but having an idea is just that start, you know? Does that make sense? Okay, we're going to move on. You have any questions before we move on, or are you okay?
Okay.
Okay. So today's activity, what we're going to do is we're going to do this activity that's called paraphrase passport. As you can see in the picture, you know what a passport looks like because you had when you came from Mexico, you used a passport to get here,
Yes.
right? You've seen it, so you know what it is. So it's kind of like that, but we're not actually using a passport. What you're going to do is basically this provides a structure for your reading, processing, and restating written text. Okay. And so what you're going to do is you're going to, like we've been talking about, you're going to contribute an idea. And I've actually given you some like idea starters to help you. You don't, because just to kind of get your mind moving, because we've read this year in our English class, we've read Animal Farm, remember, at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
and The Giver.
Yes.
And then I also put your little Mexican flag in here to help you kind of relate it to home so that you can come up with some ideas, But like all these are stuff that you're familiar with to be able to talk about and generate those ideas. So like I say, you're going to contribute an idea. Partner, which is me, must correctly restate it and do that before contributing their idea. And then use sentence stems. I heard blank, state blank. So remember, I'm your partner. So you're going to say, I heard Miss Hallway state whatever I'm going to say. And then when you say something to me, I'm going to say, I heard Jacob state whatever you're going to say. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then after that, we're kind of going to talk about it, kind of have like just an easygoing conversation. And like, you're going to agree, disagree. I can or can't, whatever you feel like, however you're able to respond to it, if that makes sense. And then also, because I know you've been really successful in the past, I've given you multiple sentence stems, which is like a couple of different papers that you can go through to like help strengthen your speaking, because I know you've done better with that in the past. So we're going to try these other ones out while you do it. And I know you can think of your own ideas, but I just went ahead and put a couple just to get it flowing. Okay.
Sure.
So I'm going to read you a couple examples before we jump into it so that you're kind of familiar with what's going on. Okay. So example 1, idea paraphrasing. So kind of like, as we talked in the beginning, I gave you an example. So the Hunger Games, I know you've said in the past, like you've read it, you're familiar with it and that your friends have read it. So I use that because I've also read it, and I enjoyed reading the Hunger Games. Partner restates. So I'm just going to model it in the sense. So pretend I'm another person also. So the partner would say, I heard Miss Hallway state, I enjoyed reading the Hunger Games. And then you're going to agree and disagree. So since you've read it, you would be like, I agree with that statement, or I agree with what you said, whatever it may be. Or if you actually didn't like it when you read it, you'd be like, I disagree, Miss Hallway. I actually really didn't like it. But then after that, it'll kind of flip to you, and then you'll do it. So you'll kind of state an idea, whether you use like the idea cards I give you, or if you want to start with your own, either is fine. And then that's what you're going to do. Okay. I'm going to give you one more example before we jump into it. So the second example, I use the dictionary to define words I don't know. I kind of use this because you use the dictionary to define words. We've kind of been trying to get you started in using it when you've run into words that you aren't familiar with, because that's a thing in our English class we've been trying to do, so that you've been getting used to flipping through the pages and reading. So I use the dictionary to define words I don't know, pretend I'm the partner. I heard Miss Hallway state, I use the dictionary to define words I don't know. I agree, because when I don't know a word, I look in the dictionary to see what it means or how to spell it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a timer, but if we finish sooner, that's okay. But I'm going to go ahead. This is just in place so that you know once the 15 minutes are up, that's when we're moving on. Got it, Jacob?
Okay.
So we're going to do this together. Remember, I'm your partner, and I'm going to give you your 3 things, which are the animal farm, which we've read before, the giver, which we read, and then your flag from your home, which these are all things you're familiar with. So you should be comfortable. If you want to use these, if you want to throw in your own idea, that's perfectly fine. But I just use these to get you started. And then remember, like I said, your sentence stems, because you've been really good at your speaking lately. That's why you're a little bit higher in that area. We're going to use these other sentence stems. So I'm going to give them to you to model. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to get the timer started. Would you like me to go first, Jacob, so that you can restate it?
Yes.
Okay. Will you put the modeling paper back in the middle of the table for me so that I can use one? Perfect. Thank you. So I'm going to do the giver. Okay. The Giver was a good book.
Miss Hallway stated The Giver was a good book.
Okay, good job. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Okay. Good job. You did really. Do you want to use the same one? Or do you want to use one of the other 3 ideas?
I like Animal Farm.
Jacob stated that he liked Animal Farm. Good job. I agree. I thought it was a very good book, and I had a good time teaching it to y'all. Y'all actually did really well with the hard content, and I enjoyed sitting down with you, Jacob, and giving you more visuals throughout it. Okay. So we're going to use the next one. I have been to Mexico before. Use one of your sentence stems, don't forget.
I heard Miss Hallway say she went to Mexico.
Good job. You did really good. Okay. I mean, you're from Mexico, right? So
I am from Mexico.
yes, you are. Okay. Are you asking me to restate that, or are you saying that you agree or disagree?
I'm stating.
Oh, okay. Jacob stated that he is from Mexico. Oh, are you okay, Jacob? Are you okay? Oh, it's okay. Take it, Bryce. Okay. So we're gonna go back. We're just gonna keep doing a couple, and we're just gonna talk about it, okay? Because we're actually going through this a lot faster. This is supposed to be modeled for like all your classmates. You'd be working with your partner, and you know this, you have, but I've pulled you aside today to just kind of work one-on-one with you. So we might get through it a little quicker than usual.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go back to the giver. Jonas was a very distinct character.
I think Miss Hallway said Jonas was distinct because he is distinct.
Okay, you're on the right track. Remember, I said he's a distinct character. So you would say, let me see the sentence stem that you used so I can model it correctly for you. I think Miss Hallway, you were right with that, said Jonas is a distinct character because, and then you'd finish the sentence like we read the book. I know it's been a little bit, but he's a distinct character because he was the giver's muse. He was the new memory receiver. stuff like that. You remember from the book that we read, like Jonas was the main character. He became the person that received all the memories, like even from time and time before. You remember?
Yes.
We're trying to trigger that past thought.
Yeah.
Okay, good job. So go ahead and now it's your turn. I'm going to restate it, okay?
Mexico. I think Mexico is very pretty.
Okay. Let me see some of your systems so I can use a different one for you and not say the same thing. Thank you, Jacob. Based on the photo, Jacob said Mexico is very pretty. All right, Jacob, I'm actually going to grab my charger real quick because my laptop's about to die. So give me 1 second and we'll continue the lesson. If you don't mind. There we go. Sorry about that, Jacob. Okay. Did you hear what I said before? I used one of your systems, which was the based on the photo, which was the Mexican flag. I said, based on the photo, Jacob said Mexico is very pretty. And I agree. I went to Cancun. What part of Mexico are you from?
Mexico City.
Right. Did you like living there?
Yes.
Do you like it here more or what?
Like it here.
Yeah. Good. So we're gonna finish that a little early. Normally this would take longer because you would work with groups and we'd share out loud, but since it's just you and me, we're gonna go ahead and go into the next part. Okay.
Okay.
So look back at your screen. So we're gonna review just a little bit. Why is paraphrasing important? Like, what have you learned from this today?
It helps summary.
Summarize in a sense, yeah. So remember, like from the photo that I showed you on that one slide, like you're just kind of restating something, but in a simpler form. So, like when we look at the giver, it's about Jonas receiving memories, you know, like that's the simple form of it because that's what the giver is about.
Yes.
That would be paraphrasing. So it's important because this is one help strengthening like your reading comprehension in a sense, like you're just zoning out on the important stuff, but also like paraphrasing, we're strengthening your language speaking right now because being able to form these simple sentences are going to help you in the long run speaking in here in all your classes with your friends and with your family. Okay.
Okay.
And then how is it strengthening your language? How would you say that we strengthen your language today?
I can make better sentences.
Yes, so you can make better sentences, but also getting you to say these sentences and connect it to like your prior experiences, things that we've done in class, things you've done in other classes, things you've done in like your hometown, Mexico City, like you said, we're able to make those connections and kind of bridge them together so that you're able to speak better because you're making those personal connections. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to go on to the review part. You're going to have a 3-question quiz now, okay? So go ahead and start. It's the very first question is, which sentence frame is best to use when restating and responding to your partner? So remember in the lesson, the one that I gave, I know you used many different ones on your sheet. I know you had different ones because I was trying to make you use other ones, but what was the one that I used in the lesson? Okay. Good job, Jacob. You got that right. I heard blank state blank. How do you? All right. You ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay. What is paraphrasing? Did you submit it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You put A, good job. You remember, so paraphrasing is basically simplifying. So you got that. Good job, Jacob. I'm really proud of you. All right, so the last one, you're gonna type in your own answer, okay? And it's just your opinion, your thoughts. Basically, how are you going to use this again in your own life, here in class, in your other classes? I need you to write something so that I'm able to refer back to this, okay? Okay, good job. We definitely need to work on your punctuation and your capitalization, but for the most part, you wrote a sentence, so you definitely got something from the lesson today. So you wrote, when I am talking to a friend at school. And that is, you will use this when you're talking to a friend, a teacher, maybe your family, definitely in different places. So good job, Jacob. I'm really glad to see that growth from you. That's really good. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. So that was your lesson today. And I really hope that you gained a lot from it. I've had a pleasure working with you this year, of course, Jacob. And thank you for letting me present this to you. Wait.